Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks. I'm Aditi and I make videos about interviews, interview processes, and common questions that we all have about them. So, this video, as you may have already guessed from the title, is about group discussions. So, group discussions are usually the first or second elimination stage for most companies after the aptitude test. The reason that they conduct these group discussions is to see how good of a leader you are, how well you can work in teams. Because when you enter the corporate, there's some sort of communication involved at every level. You'll never get an individual project, and even if you do, you'll have to communicate with either someone in the company or your client itself. So it's important that you know how to work in a group, how to put forward your thoughts, understand that of the others, and articulate your thoughts well. So I'll just get started with some do's and don'ts for group discussions and some tips and tricks that can help you score extra points while sitting for a group discussion. So first things first, body language. Your body language is one of the most important things that we usually ignore when sitting for a group discussion. So some do's are you should maintain a good posture. Sit with your back straight, your hands placed on your thighs or your knees, and be confident and bold. You should look confident when you're sitting. Keep your legs crossed and do not swing or lean on the chair too much. Next is maintaining a good eye contact or looking at the person who's speaking in the group discussion. Now, one thing that I've noticed with most students is they keep looking at the moderator while explaining their points or while discussing. Well, the moderator is there just as an observer. He or she is not technically supposed to be there when you're doing a discussion. So, your discussion is with your peers or those who are in your panel. So, keep an eye contact with them, look at them intently when they speak, and maintain an eye contact with them so that it looks like you're engaging with them and not the moderator. This is not a stage show that you're putting up, this is a discussion among you and your friends. Second thing is do not engage with the moderator. If you have any questions or if you're raising a point, do not look at the moderator and answer. Look at your friends and answer. Look at the group. Your body should be leaned towards the group and not the moderator. Smile. Smiling always helps. It brings a positive vibe not only in the whole room but also for the moderator. Interviews are a very stressful process, and people can get stressed very easily. So having a smiling face in the group helps everyone feel a little more calm and relaxed, and that will definitely make you feel better as well. Next, do not play with things. We all have some habit of maybe fidgeting with our pen, maybe playing with the paper, notepad, playing with our hair, our clothes, the chair. Just don't fidget with anything. It shows a sign of nervousness. If you have a habit of shaking your leg when you're sitting or when you're nervous, try to consciously curb that habit. Try not to do that because it is a very noticeable thing. For you, it might come naturally, but for the moderator or for anyone who's watching you in the discussion, it is a very noticeable thing and it's quite off putting. So make sure you put a conscious effort to reduce that and reduce your fidgeting and try to control your hand gestures. Now, when I talk about hand gestures, do not be very mechanical. Do not keep your hands placed on your lap at all times. If you feel like your point needs some articulation, use gestures, but don't overdo it as well. So, everything in moderation is great, but extremes should be avoided at all costs. To the speaking and the point aspect of the group discussion, the content aspect of it. Now, usually what happens in group discussions is that you have access to pen and paper. So if you have that, quickly jot down some points that come to your mind when you hear the topic. Do not write paragraphs, do not write your whole point that you want to speak, maybe a word or two, just so that you know what you're talking about. Because sometimes what happens when you're in the spot and it's your turn to speak, you sometimes find yourself at a loss of words. So that cue word will help you establish your point, will help you get back on track, and maintain that line of thought. Second point is about tone. Do not use a harsh, angry, or aggressive tone. This is not a debate. This is a discussion. Your tone should be soft. You should be cordial. You should listen to what others have to say. And while presenting your point, you should always be respectable towards what the others are saying. There might be a disagreement. There might be some point that a person has said that you don't agree with at all. You do not have to show your disagreement in an aggressive manner. If your point differs from what the other person has said, you can simply state your point. The contrast will be quite visible to the person who's hearing it or your group members. You don't need to specifically point them out and explicitly say that what you're saying is wrong. That will definitely put a very bad impression of you on the panel. The point of a group discussion is that you cordially talk with your peers, that you discuss and you reach a consensus. And even if you don't, you should be respectable at all times towards the opinions of the other person. Now, second point is you should never cut people when they're speaking. I know it sometimes happens that people keep on speaking and they don't stop, but that doesn't give you, a license to cut them in between or stop them in between. Maybe while they're speaking, you get an idea out of something that they said. Note it down. Do not interrupt them. Let them finish and then speak your point. Always try to keep your points as brief as possible. There's a time constraint for group discussions, like maybe the moderator will give you have 15 minutes to discuss this topic. Now you can't take up 8 or 10 minutes out of those 15 minutes. Everyone needs to have a chance to speak. So what keeping your point short does is that not only it leaves you with more time to think about your thoughts and maybe frame them in a better way, but it also helps the moderator realize that you're someone who can explain his or her viewpoint in few words. And that is a really great quality. Nobody wants to listen to your stories in the group discussion. Keep it short, keep it concise, but do not miss the point. Also, you should collect your thoughts beforehand. As I mentioned before, when you get that pen and paper, write down your points so that you're not nervous when it comes to you. Do not repeat points. I can't stress on this enough. I've seen a lot of children do this. I've seen a lot of people do this in group discussions. When they speak once and when they're thinking of what to speak about next, they cut themselves off from the group and immerse themselves in their thinking process. What that does is, A, you're missing out on what's going on in the group, which is the whole point of the discussion, and also you're missing out on an opportunity to find another point. You're in your own thought process, and maybe you come up with a point that you think is unique, but because you were not listening in the first place, it has already been said, and now you're just repeating. You're not only impeding the progress of the group's thought, but you're also putting a bad impression that you're not a good listener. Speaking is always complementary with listening. If you want to be a good speaker, you need to be a good listener. If you listen to everyone's point, you'll get to know what they're thinking, what their line of thought is. And only then you can maybe improvise on that, build on that, or maybe go in a different direction altogether. But if you don't listen, you won't get to know what the general feeling of the group is, which is very important to know in a group discussion. If you don't know anything, first listen. Many a times this happens in group discussions that the moderator will give you a very abstract topic. Some word like Zootopia or something very random, maybe the word pink, and you don't have any clue as to what it is or what you should do. So do not be in a hurry to start the discussion and get those brownie points. It is okay to sit back and listen to your peers discuss for a while, just so that you can gather your thoughts, you can formulate an opinion and then present it to others. It will definitely be more impactful than starting the discussion on a topic that you have no knowledge about. So that's okay if you don't start the topic. Also, there are extra points for a few things that the moderator looks for. First, being the initiator. The person who starts the discussion gets some extra points for initiating the discussion, for defining the topic. So, what you do as an initiator is that A, you state the topic, then you define what the scope of the discussion should be. For example, if they say plastic ban in India, this is the topic. So, if I were to initiate the discussion, I would say something like, so the topic for today's discussion is the plastic ban in India. I think we should be evaluating the repercussions of this ban, not only on environment, but also on the economy. So with this, you have defined a scope for the discussion, that you think it would be beneficial to discuss about the economic and the environmental aspects of this policy. Maybe people can bring in other ideas, so you're always open to that. So you get the points for initiating the discussion in the right direction. Now, there are also points for concluding it. The moderator will usually give you, like, you have 30 seconds to conclude the discussion. So, the person who takes the initiative to conclude the discussion, to summarize everything, also gets extra points. When you're summarizing, it is of utmost importance that you be a good listener throughout the discussion that was, done before the conclusion. You need to make sure that you cover all the salient points, all the points that were said, maybe in counter to the points that were initially presented. You also substantiate with an example. You summarize the group discussion and then give one line conclusion that the group has reached this consensus, or the group hasn't reached a consensus, but we have, maybe developed a fair understanding of this concept, and we have come to the conclusion that we have conflicting views, but they can be attributed to anyone and it's their personal choice. So, summarizing is something that you can only do if you're a careful listener, if you're listening to everyone carefully. That can also yield you some extra points. Giving others a chance. Now, as I mentioned before, some people like to take all the light and time of the group discussion by just talking about their points or what they feel is right. And if you feel someone is doing that, or someone is not letting others speak, not everyone is as extroverted and not very good at taking initiative or standing up for themselves, make sure that you intervene and maybe ask that person specifically that we would really like to hear from you now, or I think she's trying to say something, we should give her a chance, we haven't heard from her or him. So making sure that the whole group is involved in the group discussion also shows a leadership quality. It shows that you care about the people on the team, it shows that you care about their opinion. So make sure you include everyone in the discussion and it will definitely get you bonus points. Now, the next thing is, this usually happens on controversial topics like politics, or something that can be very personal to people like religion. People tend to stray away from the topic. People tend to take the discussion on some other tangent, holding on to some minor point that someone raised. If you feel that is happening, redirect the group on the track, bring them back on track, redirect the conversation in the right direction. The whole point of the group discussion is for you to understand the topic that has been given and reach a conclusion for the same. So it is of utmost importance that you know what you're looking for, that you know what your objective is, and you try to redirect the group in the same direction if you feel that the group is straying away. So if you do all those things, I think you will be great in a group discussion. Some general do's and don'ts just for summarizing and concluding this discussion that we had. You should keep your good body posture, you should not interrupt people, use a soft tone. It's a discussion, not a debate. Try to bring in new points. Do not say something unless you're sure of it. Do not cross question or cut others. uh, Try to initiate or conclude the discussion, if you feel that you haven't given it enough points, do not repeat points. Be a good listener. And most importantly, have fun and try to include everyone in the conversation. So, the most common topics for group discussions are usually general affairs, general knowledge, current affairs, and it can be very random and abstract too. So I would recommend that you read newspaper. But if you're not a regular reader, you should definitely use InShorts app. It's a great app for getting your news updates. If you are not comfortable with that too, just get the CSR for that month, that is Competition Success Review. You can get news articles at a glance and also get some really nice opinions on the latest policies and news clippings that are relevant to the world. And by just reading that, I think you'll do good, you'll do great, be confident, and have fun with it. So that's all from my side. If there's any feedback at all, or if there's anything specific that you want me to cover, please comment down below.